Hi, I'm PattyAnne, and I wanted to tell you how to use the McMorran Balance. Whether you're a spinner or a knitter or a crocheter or a weaver, this little tool might really come in handy for you. I'm going to read a quote from Judith Mackenzie's latest book, The Intentional Spinner. Judith says, "The McMorran Balance is a deceptively simple and incredibly useful tool. It measures the yards per pound in any yarn. If you're trying to duplicate a yarn, either hand-spun or commercial, the first thing you need to know is the number of yards per pound of the yarn." So that's what this handy little tool can tell you, the number of yards per pound. So for example, let's say that you have this yarn here, and you want to figure out how many yards per pound there is in this yarn. What you would do is to cut off a section of yarn about, well, since this is a little bit thicker yarn, maybe about 5 inches long or so, and you would start by placing this piece of yarn on the balance. Oopsie. And I've already done this one prior to beginning this tutorial, so as you can see, this one balances perfectly. So if it didn't balance perfectly, what I would do is just little bits at a time. I would snip off little pieces of yarn until the balance balanced perfectly. After that, the next thing I need to do is just take this piece of yarn and get a ruler. Then I would take the ruler and measure how long the yarn is. And in this case, this yarn is 4.5 inches long. So I would multiply 4.5 or 4.5 times 100. And that would tell me that in a pound of yarn, there are 450 yards. In 1 pound, there are 450 yards. So what about if I have a bobbin full of yarn? Or suppose I have a spindle full of yarn, and I want to figure out how much yarn there is on the spindle. I don't necessarily want to know how many yards per pound there are. At least that's not the final answer I want, because I know I don't have a pound's worth of fiber on here. Or on my spindle, I don't have a pound's worth of fiber on there either. Is there a way to use the McMorran Balance to be able to tell how many yards there are on a spindle or on a bobbin without winding this off onto a ball, a skein winder, or a niddy-noddy? Sure is. McMorran Balance can do it. And if you want to learn more about that, there's a little bit more math involved, but it's very easy, real easy. If you have a calculator, snap. Anyway, if you want to find out how to do it, and you would like to get a McMorran Balance and some sample yarns to test so that you can work along with the tutorial and the DVD, obviously, you can get that kit for $26 plus shipping and handling at www.PattyAnnesPlace.com. Mine looks like this. Oh, I don't know how much yarn there is on here. You can get one, a digital balance. You can get one at Walmart or Target. I think Knit Picks sells them. You can get one of these pretty cheaply. But I used that, and I used the technique that I showed you, and I found out that there's about 56 yards spun onto this. Now, my pattern needed 86. I think I'm going to fluff this end up, and keep spinning.